Okay, so
I want to describe my discovery in the simplest terms possible because
basically, I wanted to talk about ascension and things to expect on the path of ascension, or just my experience with my progression as an artist and my progression as an individual, and how people and things in my environment shifted. Ascension basically is your progress, or you basically moving up in life, leveling up in life, or whatever the case may be. You know what ascension is. If you're on this channel, you know anything about spirituality, you know what ascension is, right? I'm not going to explain what ascension is, but I'm sorry. When you're on the path of ascension, for me, my experience, it's really crazy how certain things move in your life when you level up. Like, one thing that I would say, I think the first thing that I would say to be aware of on the path of ascension is that everybody cannot come with you. During my undergrad career, I came in with so many friends, so many people I knew from back home, so many people I knew from my school, people I thought I was always gonna have in my life, people who I had, thought were one day gonna be in my wedding and gonna be the godparents to my children. Very just having a ton of people attached to me. As I started to really develop my own sense of self as an individual, meaning that I really wasn't on the things that everybody else was on, or I was no longer doing things the way people around me had been doing them, or I wasn't thinking the way everybody around me was thinking, which ultimately led to people basically just ghosting me, or getting into conflicts with me, or conspiring against me, talking about me behind my back, not being as solid as friends as they could have been towards me, because I was moving weird or acting different. But what I was really doing was I was ascending, and they just couldn't keep up with me, so I had to leave them, where they laid. Very painful to do for some, very uncomfortable for some, but also, all in all, very necessary. When you're on the path of ascension and you try to hold on to things that need to be released, that's how you instigate tower moments. And tower moments are very avoidable, but some tower moments don't have to be as brutal if you just surrender and just let the tower fall. Don't try to stay in the tower if you already feel that hole leaning, if you already feel that thing leaning. Go ahead and jump out while you got the chance. The second thing to be aware of on your path of ascension is, I'm gonna sound really crazy saying this, but you have to be aware of demons. The thing about spirits is that spirits can take any shape, size, or form at any time. When you talk about spirits and you talk about possession, people automatically think it's something evil, and that they would never, let a demon take them, or whatever the case is. People will that you trusted, people that are close to you, people that that are really like in your circle, will start to turn on you. I didn't want to accept it when I first realized this, but a lot of the time, those people who turn on you and those people who just seem to just not catch you a break, a lot of the time they are possessed by demons. Their mind has been corrupted by an evil entity that was sent to discourage and to steer me off my path of ascension, and to destroy me, essentially. That's why I stress rest and recovery so hard. Majority of the time, when you are drained energetically, your frequency lowers, and a lot of the time demons and evil entities are attracted to low frequency beings. If you stress yourself out and you overwork yourself, you become a vessel. When you do not rest and replenish yourself, the devil can use you to do its bidding to do its bidding towards other people. Like, I'm an air sign. You can't tell me what to do unless you can tell me what to do. And if it's not within the means of something that can help me, or if it's not anything logical, then I'm not going to do it. And there's nothing that you can say to me. It's nothing that you can threaten to do to me. It's nothing that you can threaten to take away from me that is going to make me bend at will for something that I don't believe in. It's something that doesn't make sense to me. And I've always been that way my entire life. Yeah, I've gotten in trouble for it. Yeah, I faced consequences for it, but I would have rather faced those consequences than not to have released control over my free will and over my subconscious mind to evil entities. Are you following me here? And especially with people who are on the path of ascension, if you are in the midst of people, what we call people haters, people who are trying to do everything that they can to stop you, discourage you, to play, to get in your head, to sway your opinion, to get you to bend at will. And your intuition tells you to do something a certain way, or when your intuition tells you that you have it, that you got it, and then you really have faith that you do have, and you really believe in your potential and what you can do, nobody can put any fear inside of you. And that's what makes you a threat to dark and evil entities, and that's why they try their hardest to break you down. When you begin to wake up, and when you begin to discover your life purpose, and when you begin to understand why you're here on earth and what your mission here is to do on earth, and when you really found that thing, or really found that purpose in life and what you're gonna do, it's almost like when you cut yourself in a Shark Tank. Like, all the demons, all the evil entities, all the opposing forces are going to be on your head. When you become aware of self, when you start to unplug out of the matrix, when you start to realize that there even is a matrix, and you realize that you are a moving piece in the matrix, and when you're starting to see the matrix from a bird eye's view, when you become disruptive of the status quo, when you begin to question the status quo, and you begin to question the normalities of society, you best believe that you're going to face opposition off rip. As soon as you want to start doing something differently, as soon as you start instigating change, as soon as you start trying to instigate an evolution of an idea or a group or a thing, everybody's going to be on your head. Everybody who wants to maintain the old ways, everybody who wants to maintain the matrix, everybody who wants to continue to install this programming from generation to generation, they're going to be on your head. You're going to be looked at as rebellious. You're going to be looked at as not being able to follow directions. You're going to be looked at as somebody who's a troublemaker, who's an instigator, somebody who doesn't want to just do what keeps the peace. And it's tough. It's not for everybody. I had to make that really, really, really clear. If you are going to become aware of who you are, you can't be like, I know who I am, but I don't want to offend. Like, no. Especially if you're like me, you spent your whole life shrinking yourself to make other people appear bigger than what they really were. At a certain point, that's gonna get tired, and at a certain point, the way you've been doing things is just your mind is just going to reject it. Your subconscious mind is going to reject it, and you're going to be forced to move in a different way. Whether it's tower moments, whether it's specific triggers, because I know for me, when, like I said before, when you don't move when spirit tells you to move, when you don't cut something off when spirit tells you to cut it off, when you don't when you're not obedient to spirit, and it's not even on like, no, if you don't obey the rules, then you'll be struck down by lightning and damned to hell. Like, no, that's not what we're talking about here at all. This is basic cause and effect. If something is causing you pain, if something is causing you stress, if something is causing you discomfort, unhappiness, if you stay in said place that's causing you sadness, sorrow, discomfort, depression, anxiety, stress, or whatever, sadness, sorrow, and depression, and anxiety, and sorrow is going to continue. If not continue, it's going to continue, and it's going to intensify the longer that you stay. That's basic cause and effect. That's simple. That's 1 + 1, right? So it's like, if you want a different result, If you want a different result, you have to change your method. So if you don't want to continue to be sad and sorry and depressed and unhappy, you have to take a course of action that requires you to move. You can pray, you can meditate all day, but if you are going to stay in that spot, if spirit really works for you, spirit will burn the whole thing down. Like and I feel like that's the beauty. That's the beauty of the tower. You can go down the same way you came up as far as programming and as far as like learning and unlearning things. You can learn it and you can unlearn it. You can install it and you can uninstall it. Simple as that. But it's not simple, and that's why everybody doesn't do it. And that's why everybody doesn't have that easy of a time of avoiding tower moments, because some people kind of just need their tower to fall. Some people need the tower to crack and burst into flames in order for them to get out of the situations, the environments, or away from the people that they need to, in order to move on to their next level. You have to move accordingly, especially when you're on the path of ascension. You have to detach from everything. You have to detach from everything, because once you're aware of what you're here to do, and once those gates of hell open up on you, you need to be prepared to gain and lose everything around you. You need to detach completely from everything, because anything, any situation, any environment, and anybody close to you can be used to stop you. It can be used to stop you. It can be used to distract you. It can be used to lead you off course. It can be they can be used to mentally corrupt you, to play mind games with you. And when people try to play this act like they're not doing anything, that's exactly how you know. As a dancer, you can attach yourself to certain institutions or certain companies or certain instructors or certain environments, because things can change in that environment, or that space, or that teacher, or that company might not be the best fit for the person that you are developing into, the person that you're ascending into, and you might have to leave. But your mission as a dancer, your mission as an artist shouldn't change because your environment changes, or because you're with a different company, or because you're dancing and training at a different facility. Your mission as a dancer should always stay the same. Your mission as an artist should always stay the same, unless you choose to take a different route. But you should always have your goal and your mission in mind, regardless of what the situation is. I really had to pray about it. I really had to meditate about it, because I had never been spiritually or mentally attacked like that before in my life. And that was just further confirmation that I was onto something, that I am onto something, because I was like, you know what, if I wasn't doing shit, if I wasn't doing anything significant, if I wasn't doing anything worthwhile, if I wasn't doing anything that was really going to shape the pot and that was really going to change the course of things moving forward, this would have been a cakewalk. Nobody would have gave me any problems. Nobody would have questioned me. Nobody would have tried to sabotage me the way that they did. Nobody would have tried to spitefully hurt me the way that they did if I was just doing any old thing. Like I said before, when you're a light worker, essentially, like when you're a light worker, when you're magic, when you are a starseed, you are going to face all the opposition. Everybody's going to be after you. Everybody's going to be trying to attack you. Everybody's going to try to question you. Everybody's going to try to do everything in their power to stop you from doing what you're doing. And that's not everybody, it's just like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that everybody has those problems, because everybody doesn't have those problems. A lot of people do basic ass shit and they get applauded for it, they get promoted for it, they get clout for it, and they are allowed to live. They're allowed to live their life. You think you have to look at all the great artists, and you have to look at all the people who really shook things up in the world. You can ask anybody. They didn't have it easy. They weren't always on the receiving end of praise and admiration. Especially artists that create art Look at Kanye West, for example. Everybody think Kanye West is crazy. Everybody think Kanye West is this, Kanye West is that. But Kanye West doesn't let what those people say affect how he creates art and affect the art that he creates, because he's gonna do what he wants to do regardless. Me and Kanye West have the same birthday. We're Geminis, we're air signs. We do what we want. Like anybody who meets me, I always let them know that I'm open to learn. I'm open to take any advice people want to give me. But when it comes to my art and it comes to what I want to do and it comes to something that my name is going on to, that's where your power stops. That even when demons or different entities, come in and they close in on you and they really make you feel like you're going insane, you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful of your mission. You have to remember who the fuck you is at the end of the day. Like, you have to. You have to remember who you are at the end of the day. So I hope this helped. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the information that was in this video. Please let me know if you have any other topics that you want me to talk about related to spirituality, related to dance and spirituality. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Let the clips distribute work all day, then come back home every 3 weeks, flip 3 to